Hey everyone, welcome back. I know last week I said I was going to show the house and it being finished, but we are waiting on a couple more furniture pieces, so I wanted to wait for those to get in before I show the house. But it is looking good. It's almost finished. So this week instead, I wanted to take you all through my editing process for photos, stories, videos, what cameras I use, and what lenses I use. I am pretty picky when it comes to my Instagram. I also just have a lot of fun with it, so that is part of it. But here are the apps that I use, and I will walk you through each app. So Lightroom is my most used app. I use Lightroom for all of my photos. Unfold is for stories and for mood boards. Video Leap is great if you're editing TikTok videos. It's great to splice a bunch of videos together. This is just for stories. Canva, I just use that for YouTube to create the cover photos. Colortone and Tezza are the apps that I use for videos. SnapBridge is to link my camera's Wi-Fi to my phone and download photos if I'm in a hurry. DJI is for my gizmo. And I just downloaded Clay, but I love Unfold so much, and you have to pay $32. I don't think I'm gonna pay for that one. But I do pay for Unfold, I do pay for Tezza, oh, and Canva. I do pay for Canva too. And that's it. That's all the apps that I have. So stories. I do not love the Instagram camera. I make my life a little bit more difficult by taking photos with my iPhone because the camera's better. I then open Lightroom, edit the photo in Lightroom, and upload it to Instagram. I even created a filter for Instagram, but I just can't get over the quality. It's pretty bad. Occasionally I will use the camera for Instagram and one of their filters and just say, swipe up to watch this week's YouTube video, but for the most part, I do it on my iPhone because I am very picky and very particular. It also sounds like a lot of extra steps, but it's what I prefer. So I will take a photo, just a random photo. I will open that up in Lightroom. I'll swipe over to my presets and then just click through, and that's it. That is before and after. If I don't like the way the photo looks just on its own, solo, if I need to zoom out a little bit more, if I want to add multiple photos, I will open Unfold. This is one of my favorite apps ever. I also love this app for creating mood boards. I had a shoot recently and there's an option in Unfold called 9. So it's 9 photos and it looks like a mood board. And so I will put all those photos into Unfold, and that is my inspiration for a shoot. I also have a bunch of things that I'm working on, so I have mood boards for all of those. And I have a call with an interior designer tomorrow. I created 3 mood boards for her, and that is for the house in Vegas. Here are some stories that I've done. You can do videos, you can do photos. It's great for collages. And I love this app because you can be super creative. I love creating stories and just having fun with it. I use Lightroom for all of my photos, whether it is iPhone, camera, all my photos. And it took me a while to transition from those easy editing apps to Lightroom because Lightroom can be a little intimidating, but I finally did and I will never go back. But for videos, there isn't an easier option that I've found, so I will still use those apps for stories. Here is a video of Pappy. I have it in Tezza. Tezza's a little bit quicker than Colortone by like a couple seconds. You can adjust the intensity like I said, and then from there I will save it. Okay, moving on to cameras. This is the camera that I use. It is a Nikon Z50, and the lens is a 24 to 70 millimeter 1.4. This is the lens that I always vlog with. I used to have a shorter pancake lens, but I lost that, unfortunately. And it was not as great of quality, but it was zoomed out more. It was easier to hold. This one's heavier, so the video gets really shaky, and that's why I don't do videos like this anymore. Plus, it's super zoomed in, and it's too much of my face. This is Dean's lens, but he lets me borrow it for photos, and this is usually what I'm taking my photos on. It is a 24 to 70 millimeter 2.8. This is Dean's camera. It is a Nikon Z7. It's a little bit nicer than mine. And then the lens, we split this because it was a little pricey, is a 70 to 200 millimeter 2.8. It is my favorite lens ever. This takes the most amazing photos. I love using this lens for photos if we have time, if we have space, because it is very zoomed, but it takes amazing photos, and I will show you. So these are some photos that were taken with this lens. It's a great lens. And these are some photos that were taken with this lens. I love this lens so much. So those are our cameras and our lenses. As far as iPhone, I never really post iPhone photos because again, I am picky. The only time I post an iPhone photo is if it's a selfie, and I rarely post selfies, so it's very rare. Or if Dean and I took a really cute pic together, because we don't really get pictures often. Those are the exceptions. This dongle is what I use to upload all my photos and videos onto my laptop. It's a little USB-C adapter with the slot for my memory card. So I will just insert this into my laptop with the memory card, which is in the camera right now. And this is the main reason that I take photos on my camera and not Dean's. Dean has a different dongle and it is so temperamental. I got him a new one for Christmas because I thought that was the issue. I think it's just the dongle itself that just is not great. So there was a time where we took a bunch of photos, and so usually what I do is I will mark my photos like 1 through 10, 1 through 15, go through each photo and narrow it down to my favorites. And I've never had issues with mine, but I was doing that on his camera, and I marked the cutest photos of him, of Pappy, that we had ever taken. And they suddenly just all erased, all the ones that I marked, so all the good ones were gone. And from then on, I decided I was not going to use his camera. And I'm sure there's a better dongle out there and we wouldn't have that issue, but I'm just scared of it, so I don't touch it. Alright, moving on to videos. So right now I am in Final Cut. This is the software I use to edit all of my videos for YouTube and my Reels. I really do like Final Cut. I studied broadcast journalism in college and we were taught on Adobe Premiere. I didn't think I'd be able to switch, but I like Final Cut a lot more than Premiere. Okay, so I just opened up a random video because the memory card is in the camera recording right now. So what I'll do is upload a video, cut it, edit it. I don't know what this video is. And then I have a couple LUTs on Final Cut that I don't love. I want to create LUTs, but maybe one day. So this is a software I use to edit, but it's very hard to show right now with not having any videos. But I adjust the volume, add LUTs, cut, edit, compile videos together. This is what I use. It's hard to show. And it's also so time consuming. It takes hours to edit and it would probably not be entertaining for you all. And for photos, I am in Lightroom right now. So I have all my presets here and I will link it down below so you can get my presets as well. It's CaelynnMillerKeys.com and I have a code, YouTube15, so you can get 15% off. I just downloaded a random photo from my desktop and I will just walk you through each preset. So I have the Essentials collection, which is my favorite, the Refreshed collection, and the Road Trip collection. There are a couple that I always go to. Barefoot, Shade, Bear, and Arizona are all my favorites. Clear, Dreamy is really pretty, Shade, Washed, Bear. With Bear, I just love the way the whites pop in the photo. And there's Breeze, Dewy, Linen, Misty, Arizona, California. I also love California. I also love Nevada, Oregon, Utah. Right now I'm between Barefoot and Bear. I think I'm gonna stick with Barefoot. I'm gonna bring the exposure up slightly. I like the way the highlights are. So typically when a photo isn't perfect with the presets, the only things that I typically touch are the exposure, the highlights, and the shadows. I really like bringing the shadows down because it can sometimes make you look a little bit more tan. And I love bringing the shadows up. And that's all I'll do. And then I'll export, save it onto my desktop, and airdrop it to myself. And that's it. That's how I edit, how I create mood boards, the cameras and lenses that I use and love. That's everything. I hope this was interesting to you all. I hope you learned something. Dean and I get a lot of questions about the cameras that we use, so I hope that answered some questions. And lenses. We get a lot of questions about lenses as well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to shop my presets. It's CaelynnMillerKeys.com. I will link it. And the code is YouTube15. Also, if you do get my presets, be sure to tag me so I can see how you guys are editing with them. Thank you for watching. I will see you next week.